interesting things that have been happening within the Ghanaian football space. That's really, really been a long while. I've had many people ask me, why do you stop, or why did you stop the Nabila show? I've had others also go like, oh, Nabila show was kind of providing us many stuff. I actually wish I could continue, or I could be consistent with the Nabila show, but unfortunately, due to some circumstances beyond my control, it's been quite difficult to be very consistent and share content. I think I need to render an unqualified apology to everyone here who patronizes this channel and has been a regular on this channel. In fact, I actually have been planning to do lots of stuff, especially um, uh, the national team, the uh, Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Sports Authority. In fact, almost every single sector within the Ghanaian sporting space. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to share that. But today, um, I'm here to talk about some football politics. We are building up to another year of elections. And lots of things are happening. I'll try and do this as brief as I can, maybe within the next 10, 15 minutes. So first, I would start with the timetable of the Ghana Football Association for each presidential and executive council elections. Many of you already know the timeline or the timetable that was released by the FA. Their plan was to organize the elections on September 27. That is in the next 2 weeks. But as we speak, there's no clear path on whether the FA would be able to proceed to Tamale to organize that election. Well, it is because King Faisal have decided to take the football governing body to an Accra High Court. And in the opinion of King Faisal, never in the history of Ghanaian football or Ghanaian football politics have we had the elections of the president and the regional and the executive council before that of the regional and district level. So they feel that the elections committee are on a wrong path, and they want the Accra High Court to also interpret the regulations governing football and bring the GFA onto the right path. So it is quite unclear whether there will be an election in September, just as this month. Their first appearance in court was August 30. Second appearance was September 6, and they're expected back to court on September 19, which is just 8 days away to the GFA election. So following these, the FA decided to put on hold their timetable, but they have communicated to people who are contesting for various positions within the Ghana Football Association that they have either qualified to have their names on the ballot paper for the elections, or their applications have been rejected. And the topmost, or the headliner of the disqualification, is George Afriyie, who was disqualified by the Elections Committee on the grounds that his nomination form, which is supposed to be endorsed by 5 candidates. So first, usually what happens is that you would have one club nominate you, and you would have 5 others endorse you. So his own club, Susubibi, nominated him to contest for the position of president, and he was endorsed by Ediona Stars, Brekum Chelsea, Brekum City, and Victory Warriors FC. But the bone of contention actually is that Victory Warriors FC, unfortunately, the owner of the club was not in town. He was in Germany, based on information available to me. So when they wanted the endorsement, in fact, George Afriyie was struggling to get people to endorse his form to contest for the position of president of the FA. And it's quite surprising that a man who had more than 20 endorsements in the last elections of 2019 was struggling to get 5 people to endorse his form for the position of president of the FA. But that is the football space we find ourselves. The conspiracy theories have told us that the system has been skewed towards a certain candidate, and that candidate has tried to frustrate the space, and people are warned, or clubs are warned, if you endorse someone to contest me and I win the elections, you are in trouble. And in fact, as many as 28 clubs that we understand or have complained, sometimes I wonder why the complaints come, have complained that the FA system has not been fair to them. There are many, like I just mentioned, there are as many as 28 clubs that claim that they face injustice from the FA simply because they either did not back the current leadership of the FA to occupy office, or they feel that they are against the administration and they are in favor of a certain candidate. So most of these clubs are actually afraid. And it would even also interest you to know that people who are vying for executive council elections are also even afraid to have their clubs, or were also afraid to have their clubs endorse George Afriyie, though they are going into this contest because they are hopeful that George Afriyie will be on the ballot paper. Some of them are actually afraid that if George Afriyie is not on the ballot paper, then also their chances of getting onto the executive council is going to be very difficult. So those are some of the conspiracy theories, and some of these things, yeah, they do happen. So unfortunately, George Afriyie, who was finally able to get at least 6 clubs to endorse his form, but 5 signed, because the GFA presidential nomination form is such that you can only have 5 names sign your candidature. So Bekum City, Bekum Chelsea, Ediana Stars, New DBRC, and Victory Warriors, these were the clubs that endorsed him. But the Victory Warriors had a had the signature of Geoffrey Asari, who acted as director of the club. But unfortunately, at the Register of Companies, Geoffrey Asari is not the director of the company. At the Ghana Football Association, Geoffrey Asari is not the signatory. But one thing that actually happened before Geoffrey Asari signed the form was that, based on information available for me, or to me, was that when they reached out to the owner of Victory Warriors FC, he was not in Ghana. He was outside the country. He was in Germany. So he said, okay, let Geoffrey Asari sign the form for you, because Geoffrey is an official of the club. So Geoffrey signed, the form was sent. Then guess what? Someone files the petition to the Elections Committee to tell them that Geoffrey Asari is not a signatory. Claims are that someone within the FA filed that petition because they were privy to the documents and they know that Geoffrey Asari is not a signatory to League Club. So the claims are that someone within the FA, but used a different name, filed a petition. And in fact, it would interest you to know that even some people have forgotten the name of the person. So when the petitions were filed, there were 4 petitions against George Afriyie's candidature. One of them was 10,000 Ghana cedis he gave to someone in Suyani to support the renovation of the Coronation Park for Tano Bofuakwa. Another was a text message he sent to Kwesi Nyantakyi many years ago, describing him as greedy. And then the other was the Victory Warriors thing. So that was the key thing that the committee used. When the committee brought it to George Afriyie's attention, per what we know, he told them, okay, if the signature of Geoffrey Asari invalidates it because he's not a director of the club or the company, take it out. I have an affidavit sworn by Tachiman City, and you can support it if you think that is invalid. So the elections committee told him that, no, we cannot do that, because these are the 5 clubs that have endorsed you. But George Afriyie was like, really? I contested for the position of this same position in 2019 and had as many as 20 clubs endorsing me. They are attached. So if you think one is invalidated, just move the other one to replace it. Well, based on the conversation that transpired, it appears that was not accepted. So he left the place feeling okay or feeling confident that he was going to go through. But unfortunately, he was disqualified from contesting. Now he has filed an appeal. A notice of appeal was sent to the FA on